Back to the Punk Rock Player One channel. Today we are reviewing Judah and the Lion with their latest debut or release called The Process. And this is the first time I've ever heard of these guys. And if you've watched my recent videos, you'll know that there's a ton of these artists that I've never checked out. And that's what I'm kind of doing for album reviews. I'm just putting myself out there, listening to just whatever music that I see this most recently released, and I'm finding some good stuff, honestly. So, not to spoil the review, but this album is definitely, you could see it is describing the process of, I think, grief, I think, or acceptance, or the process, yeah, something like that. But that was probably not so eloquently described. But let's start with the first song. So the first song is Denial, which is the first stage of acceptance. Boom, I think I got it right. This is an interesting beginning for sure, and not much going on here, but a lot of ambient kind of sounds. And then straight into the Heartbreak Syndrome. This is definitely their single, their song of the summer, if you will. This song is very good. It has an 80s soundscape kind of sound to it. A lot of synths, of course, a lot of keyboards. A good splashy drum sound, from the good old 80s kind of sounds of 80s drum sets, of course. And yeah, I put I put for this song nice Tears for Fears drums. So that just tells you basically what I was just saying before. Very splashy 80s drum sounds. Nice electric guitar in the chorus and good floaty vocals. And this song already ended up being in my top five. And usually for my top fives, I basically call it like banger alert. So there's just no ignoring it, like it is a banger. So that's how I go about choosing my best, like, top five songs of an album, basically. Just give you a peek behind the curtain, of course. The next song is F La, or yeah, I think I said that right. But FLA, excuse me. Okay, I remember what it is. Okay, so it has a very nice synth sound. This song takes it even farther with the retro sound, and it almost sounds lo-fi. And apparently this guy doesn't like LA. And the latter, yeah, the later part of the song is very good. And it basically reminds me of Mark Hoppus and Alex Gaskarth from All Time Low, their project called Simple Creatures. This song reminded me of that, and that is good for this song. The Basically this whole album did, honestly, with the sound production and the kind of choices of the lyrics and lyric structure and stuff like that, which is great. I love Simple Creatures. Go check them out. And I hopefully Simple Creatures will come back, please. Next song is Anger. This is just the continuous of Denial, literally. And it is a small interlude that basically just leads into Floating in the Night. And Floating in the Night has like a darker sound towards the beginning, and it has the folk that I believe Judah and the Lion is known for. I'm not a Judah and the Lion expert by no means, but I did see that they are folk rock, and this has that, and it kind of that thump kind of beat, and very sounds very much like Imagine Dragons older stuff, with the kind of thump drum beat and with the chiming folk guitars. And yeah, there's hard hitting lyrics like I don't want to sugarcoat this. And I get so jealous of artists when they have great lyrics like that, because sometimes when I'm like writing ideas for songs, I'm like, oh man, this lyric sucks. But in this case, this lyric sounds great. I don't want to sugarcoat this. The way it's delivered, it's just, you can feel the meaning behind it. So Floating in the Night is also a banger alert. So second one of the top five for me. Next song after Floating in the Night is Great Decisions. And this is actually more of a rock song and kind of stays away from the folksy kind of side of it. Very nice guitar licks at the beginning of the song, and then it kind of goes back into the thump folk in the middle. And the vocals definitely are sounding great. And it basically had like the Strokes section of the song where it just breaks into just a completely different, like duetting lead guitars and the singer kind of singing in like a lower register. It just sounded like the Strokes, which I love that. Good like plucking guitar that the Strokes usually has, and plucking bass, and it definitely switches around a lot with genres, or rock genres, I should say. So, I mean, quickest way to my heart. Sounds just like a rock song. I'm gonna like it. Great Decisions also ends up being in my top 5. Next song after that is Son of a Gun, featuring K-Flay. I think that's how you say it. And this is a very bright, nice sounding 80s rock song, basically. And a blend of the featured ladies' vocals blended very well. And they sounded very well together singing. And it had very good lyrics, like sometimes you gotta laugh, sometimes you just gotta laugh, sometimes you just gotta fight. Like it's delivered very gleefully and semi-sarcastically. It sounded great. There's definitely meaning behind the song as well. I'm surprised this didn't end up in my top 5, honestly. It did not. I'm surprised though. It is a long album though. Like this is another double album of many double albums in the past couple weeks that I've been reviewing, so makes sense. Next song after that is Bargaining. This is a spoken word interlude, and it just sounds like you're watching a movie, basically. That's the best way I can describe this song. It sounds like you're in a scene in a movie and you're just listening to it as like ambient background. And that leads into Starting Over, and it has a acoustic beginning, and this is very much like a sad song, and it picks up at the end, and it has like a positive lyric towards the end, even though being a sad song. It says, "You can be free when you leave it behind." So that's a cool lyric that was in that song. And the next song is What It Is. Maybe that's a reference to Thundercat. Thundercat mentioned. What is not a bad song. So Is What It is acoustic. Definitely has an acoustic beginning. Good synths and drums get introduced throughout the song, and keyboards again sound great. I just basically say, honestly, keyboard just sounds great on this album. Whatever keyboards they used, I mean, top notch. Could not sing higher praise for the keyboards right now. Very chill song, and it had a cool bridge with rising synths and like a little bit of quick folk guitar kind of building up into a like strong chorus. And I put the chorus is strong with this one. And this song absolutely ended up being in my top 5. So there you go. There's the other one. Next song is Depression. This is the other stage of acceptance or grief or whatever stages we're getting to on this song, or this album, I should say. And I basically put it's a spoken interlude, and it's not good. So I did not like the Depression one. So maybe that's appropriate. I didn't like the Depression one. Next song after that is Self-Inflicted Wounds. Piano and keyboards at the beginning is just a very beautiful song, but it's a little too slow for me. It didn't really keep my attention. And it basically recorded him crying at the end. So, I mean, I know that's an artistic choice, but I probably wouldn't have done that. So, I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know in the comments how you feel about hearing the artist cry at the end of the song. It's like, oh man, this is a very personal moment. I don't think I should be hearing this, but yeah. Other than that, okay song. After Self-Inflicted Wounds, SIS is the next song. It has piano at beginning and kind of like lower octaves throughout the song. Song picks up and the bass guitar sounds great once the song picks up, and also had good chorus, great acoustic guitar as well. And I like that the song picked back up. It kind of picked us back up from the kind of lull of depression and self-inflicted wounds. Maybe that was intended. I'm sure the picking back up was, but I'm sure they didn't mean to get it to the lows too low, like self-inflicted wounds. So the next song after SIS is Only Wants the Best, and it had awesome keyboards, 80s clean guitar, and the 80s clean guitar, I will say, had very good tone. It sounded very good and just top notch. Strong chorus, and the full band sounds very good. So I think, in my opinion, in this album, when they have the full band playing and not just one instrument, that's where at their strongest. And that's what makes it, it makes the songs work for this album in particular. Next song is Acceptance. This is an interlude, of course, in one of the stages of Acceptance, and it has a good melody, and it leads very well into the next song, which is Long Dark Night. And Long Dark Night is basically another acoustic thump song, and acoustic folk thump kind of rhythm song. Very happy song, like very much old Imagine Dragons all over the place, and good bass guitar. So thumbs up for Long Dark Night. Next song after that is Heart Medicine, and it had great harmonies at the beginning, just great arrangements, and I definitely love the acoustic guitar playing for this song in particular. It keeps the pace up, and it also has a catchy chorus. So Heart Medicine is the other of my top 5. It's been a while, so that was a long stretch, but Heart Medicine was good. Very good. Next song after that is Leave It Better Than You Found It. This also has a feature from Rustin Kelly. It's an acoustic thump song again, and it has nice thumps throughout, and good drumming and 80 synths. So it hit all of the right places, so this also ended up being in my top 5. And the closer is Sweet Surrender. This is another, like, best I can describe it is like synth folk song, like a synth folk, if that's a genre. I guess it is now. And it's a very good choice for a closer. And it's the only song, basically, yeah. I basically put for the notes for this, any song with the full live band sounds superior to the other songs on the album. And I also put this in my top 5. So, yeah. So that basically gives you a feeling of what I think are the good songs and the bad songs on this album. If you have the full band and all of the 80s sound effects and whatnot, his vocals, of course, are great. So, the review I would give this album after discussing all of my woes. My only tracks that I really didn't like, I did not like Self-Inflicted Wounds. I think that's the only one that I really didn't like, other than Depression as well. So, I mean, that's a pretty good batting average once again for 19 tracks. Only 2 that I would definitely skip. So it's not going to get a 10 out of 10. It is going to get going to give it a 9 out of 10, because this album has very good feels. It's just like, mostly, even though it's going through the stages of grief or whatever stages it's going through, it's actually a very happy sounding album, and a very pleasant album cover to look at. It's just the spectrum of colors, and yeah, definitely, for sure, that would be my review for this album. So I will catch you guys later. Have a good one.